we've come up with lots of different ways to consume honey. We do a honey and walnuts for oatmeal.
Put in your hair after a rough day.
You could do that.
Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Cruisin' with Zach. Today we have Gary Schempp from Busy Bees in Cape May Courthouse. Gary, thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, this is fun. I feel like carpool karaoke.
There you go,
This
something like that.
Yeah, James Corwin or something like that.
I gotta tell you, there's a big buzz going around for this episode. I was telling people that I was having on a beekeeper, and they were super excited. So I want you to know you're a hot commodity right now. Not only, first we're going to get into how incredible the bee itself is. It's an underappreciated animal, but let's talk about your business. You were just telling me off camera, you spent half of your professional life killing insects, and now you are raising bees.
Well, let's start with no bees, no food.
Yeah, so, right, there you go.
Yeah, you gotta have bees. And definitely bees are under a lot of pressure right now. From pesticides, from climate change, diseases, mites, all kinds of problems. So, you know, we're trying to do what we can to promote beekeeping and also share the importance of honeybees. But yeah, I started out with a pest control company in 1980, and we did that for 30 years. And I sold that in 2010 to Viking Pest Control, so I could work with honeybees exclusively. So I did a 180. I went from killing bugs to raising bees.
Wow.
And I like to say that I like raising bees a lot better than killing bugs.
You'll extract honeybees from properties, is that correct?
From buildings, yeah. It turns out that when honeybees swarm, of course there's a lot more houses around nowadays than there are hollows and trees.
Right.
In the natural environment, they'd find a new spot in a hollow of a tree or just some cavity somewhere. But now, so many houses around, they'll find a place maybe in the soffit of a house. Maybe there's a little rot, or a place where the cable guy didn't caulk up around the cable, or the wires going into the second story bedroom or whatever. And so scout bees will find that area, and they'll bring the rest of their colony, their swarm, and they'll move in, and now you have honeybees in your structure. So there's not that many people that actually remove honeybees from structures. So we do that.
How do you do that?
Well, actually,
do you go and get the queen?
Actually, if you take the left right up here, we'll drive into Natali Vineyards.
Okay.
We have some bees there. So actually, what we do is I have some pretty neat equipment. We have some infrared heat guns where we can actually see bees, of course, generate heat.
So turkey just ran across the road.
Wow.
Oh my God.
And when there's one, there's more. So there's probably like about a dozen right behind that one.
Oh my God.
So thank God we didn't run over the turkey.
Be careful.
Do a proper inspection. Make sure they're honeybees, not something else.
Okay.
And then we use our infrared heat guns and some other techniques to find the bees in the wall. And then we measure it all out, make some determinations, and figure out what we got to do to open up the wall to get the bees accessible. Kill them.
Why do we need honeybees? I know we do, but for the viewers out there,
well, simply the most important thing is for pollination.
Cross-pollination.
Yeah. Well, without honeybees, without bees, let's just say this: one third of the food on our table is attributable to pollination from bees. Okay, so if you didn't have bees, you could take 33% of the food off our tables. Okay, so you have a lot of diversity, a lot of pollination going on, a lot of benefits from honeybees. Yeah, not just that they make honey, but more importantly, that they pollinate.
Okay. So a little misnomer about myself, I'm health conscious, but people think I'm vegan. That's not true. I just eat a heavy plant-based diet. But there are vegans out there that will not use honey when they cook because they think they feel that they're abusing the animal. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's interesting. I get that a lot. We do a lot of farmers markets, do a lot of local shore towns and farmers markets in the summer, plus events and festivals. And probably not a festival or event or farmers market goes by where I don't have a number of people ask that very question.
How about that?
That's really good. For myself, I became a vegetarian last year, or more accurately, pescatarian, because I do eat limited amounts of seafood.
Okay.
But I'm primarily on a plant-based diet.
All right, same as me.
Yeah. For a number of reasons, which is probably a different show.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of my vegan friends consume honey, and some of them do not. Okay. But what I do explain is that honey is made by bees from the nectar of flowers. Okay, so it's not a chicken laying an egg. It's not a cow producing milk. Mm-hmm. It's not livestock producing meat on your plate.
Right.
Honey is made from the nectar of flowers. Okay, so what bees do is they go out, they collect nectar. Nectar is very thin and very viscous. Okay, they install it into their framework back home, into their cells, and then it's important to note that cells, if we don't have a honeycomb to look at here, but the cells that honeybees create from their own wax glands, they create the cells on an 11% angle going down, so that the viscous nature of the nectar doesn't flow out. Wow. It always flows down into the cell. Yeah, it's really
that is incredible.
It's really amazing. So then after the cells are filled up with nectar, then the bees
fan it down with their wings to a moisture content of somewhere around 17%, and it becomes honey. So you got bee enzyme, you got micronutrients, and it's capped off, and that's their food for the winter. So being a good beekeeper is part of knowing how much you can take by leaving enough for the bees to be able to feed themselves through the winter.
So I don't get involved with vegan rules, wars. I just explain where honey is basically the origin and how it's made, and people decide for themselves.
Do you even get stung anymore?
Today or this
like
week
in general,
or this month?
I assume you've been stung too many times to count.
Well,
but do you still get stung, or do you?
Hey, if you're a painter, you get paint on you, right?
Yeah.
If you're a beekeeper and you manage bees, you're going to get bee stings.
That's right.
Okay. And people say, "Oh, it doesn't hurt anymore." No, bee sting hurts. You feel it. But the thing that's different is that unfortunately a bee has to die when they sting you, so they really don't want to sting you.
Fun fact, I knew that.
Yeah. And so when you're out in your garden and you're working your flowers, you see honeybees around, they're not going to come after you. Okay, we don't have Africanized bees here. We don't have aggressive bees. Our bees are generally European bees. They're the bees I work with. I use them in a t-shirt. I usually don't even gear up. And so when you get stung by a honeybee, you get the stinger out. You just take your fingernail, get the stinger out right away.
Okay.
Because that little sac behind is pumping in venom. And if you don't get it off, you get 100% of the venom.
Okay.
But as a beekeeper, I know, and I share this with people listening, to get that stinger out right away and only get a little bit of venom in you. Now, if you're allergic, that's a different thing.
Yeah, right.
You know, that's
now, do you get some of the honey and do you put that on the sting?
You can, but usually I'm too busy to deal with it.
Did you ever see that Bear Grylls where he went to go get some honey and he got stung and his face blew up like a basketball?
I didn't see that
and
one.
he was like, just put some honey on it, it'll be fine. And his eyes were just swollen shut.
Yeah, a lot of people do put some little bit of honey on it. I used to, but I'm just after a while you're working with bees, you kind of really don't have time for all that. Plus, my high sting count was 85 in the face.
Oh!
Yeah. So 2 summers ago in Eberson,
that stings.
I'm doing.
So you're also telling me not only the farmers markets, but some other local vendors, they will use your honey. So we just passed them, Slack Tide Brewery. We just passed them.
They made a really good brew last summer with our product, and they gave me a couple 6-packs.
There you go.
And it didn't take me long to consume that. It was really, really good.
That's a sweet deal. So after we yield, we're going to go into the lightning round. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you 3 questions. You answer them as quickly as possible.
Oh, that sounds cool.
All right. So if you were in a food eating contest and you can eat one food and win, what would you eat? I know that you're a vegan now, but let's just...
Eat one food and...
And you can win. You can eat one food and win. You have to eat the most of it.
Well, it's going to be honey.
Really?
It's going to be honey. I can eat more honey than anybody.
Okay.
Oh, definitely.
Now, here's the thing.
There's no
Is it the
question
liquid
about
or do you eat the comb straight up?
Oh, I eat both, but generally you don't always have the comb available.
Uh-huh.
But I eat honey every day. I go through like a big bear once a week just in my coffee and my
You're like
cereals.
Baloo from Jungle Book.
Oh, yeah. It's just...
Do bears like honey?
Actually, bears do like honey. You know, honey is carbohydrate.
Okay.
Honey, unlike white sugar.
We're going to take a time out on the lightning round. We're going pretty slow, but go on.
Okay.
I want to know about this.
Yeah. Unlike white sugar, which is devoid of any kind of nutrients.
Right.
Honey has micronutrients, B enzyme, and it's fructose and glucose, unlike white sugar, which is sucrose. So they're different kind of sugars.
Question number 2. If you had a superpower not flying, what would it be?
It would have been flying.
Well, I took that off the table.
Yeah, because I dream about
You'd
flying.
usually be flying around the bees. You'd be like, not Ant-Man, but Bee-Man.
Superpower. Jeez. Okay. So maybe being able to read minds.
All right.
And you know what?
That's the number 1 answer for my women guests.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you something. You know what I really like about, because I keep bringing it back to honeybees, because that's what I
That's
do
your passion.
24 hours a day.
Yeah.
You know what I like about bees is when you get stung by a bee, you know it right away. But what happens with people, it's usually not until 2 weeks later.
You feel the sting.
You feel the sting.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I like about bees. So reading minds, being able to prepare you for that sting with people that's going to come like sometime in the future.
If we could only be more like bees,
Yeah.
the world would be a better place.
Be more intuitive.
Question number 3. Final question. If you could choose anyone in Hollywood to play you in a movie about yourself, who would you choose?
Oh boy, that's a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah. How do you come up with this stuff?
Well, we pay the people at the production very well, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking like Rocky. I'm thinking like Sylvester Stallone.
Okay.
I mean, he would be excellent to do this because.
Sly Stallone, the beekeeper.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
You know,
his face looks like he got stung by a bunch of bees.
It does.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he just keeps going and going and going and going. And that's what you really have to do. You don't take a break. You're on a ladder, you're 4 hours, your feet are tired, you got honey dripping all over the place, you're slipping, you're sliding, you got power tools, but you don't worry about it. You got a job in front of you, and you just got to do it and get it done right.
That's right. It's
And it's like Rocky. That's what he does.
Round 13 against Apollo Creed.
Perfect.
Just keep going. Gary Schempp, Busy Bees, Cape May Courthouse. Hands down, one of the most interesting individuals I've ever met. Where can we find you? Not only at your shop in Cape May Courthouse, but where else can we find you on like Facebook or Instagram or?
Well, just go to Facebook. Most people have a Facebook account, and just look up Busy Bees NJ. 10 years ago, when we got on the web, I wanted to have busybees.com, but I was taken by a nursery school in California. So I said, you know what? That's okay. Put the NJ after it. Busy Bees NJ. That's what we do. Our thing is here in South Jersey mostly, but New Jersey.
Okay.
And so it's busybeesnj.com. You can visit that. There's a link to our Facebook page, but you could go to Facebook and just put the Busy Bees in there, or Busy Bees NJ, and we'll come right up and pop in there. We also have our products available in a number of different local stores. You'll find us at all the local farmers markets, from Wildwood to West Cape May to Brigantine and Stone Harbor and Margate and Ventnor and it's just
everywhere.
Everywhere. It goes on and on.
Well, Gary, so interesting. I'm going to leave links to your Facebook page and everything.
VIP.
The VIP.
Yep.
The walk coming up. Great stuff. Thank you so much for being on the show, man.
It was a lot of fun. Let's do it again. We'll do a part 2.
That's right. The King Bee. See you guys.
Cheers. Peace.